Hello everyone. Hi again. Hope you are well. So welcome to another lecture on C programming. And today lecture we're gonna talk about Goto Statement, Floyd's Triangle, and Pascal's Triangle. Okay, guys. So in the previous lectures, we basically discussed about different kind of patterns, and also you have learned about various C programming concepts like switch case statement, for loop, while loop, okay, do while loop, and patterns like pyramid pattern, half pyramid pattern, a rectangular pattern, hollow rectangular pattern, diamond pattern. So we continue today also the two kind of pattern problem. First one is a Floyd's triangle, another one is a Pascal's triangle. Okay, so let's first understand what is a go-to statement, guys. So a go-to statement. So you have already familiar with while loop, if statement, else statement, and also a break statement. How you can use a break statement inside a while loop or for loop to jump out of the loop. Okay, so here in the same way we use a go to statement which provides an unconditional jump from go to labeled statement, okay, in the same function. Now what is this label statement, guys? So this label statement is nothing but it is an identifier. Already you have familiar with what is an identifier. Okay, so like a variable is also an identifier. So these identifiers are not the keywords, that is the reservoir words. Okay, so but there is some little bit meaning of identifiers. Okay, you can make identifier by your own. So same way label is an identifier. And here is the syntax, guys. Okay, so let's now understand this syntax. So in the any function, so we have it in C programming. When you write hatch include studio.h int main, then that main is your main function. Same way we will learn about a user defined function. How can you make your own function in our upcoming lectures? Okay, so now here just see, go to, then after label, and this label is a statement. Okay, sorry, it is an identifier. And where in your program, if this statement comes, suppose go to, then after label, that means that label will refer it onto that level from here to here. Okay, so I'm just use a pointer to detect it. So here, when in your program anywhere, if you see this statement, and this will jump you from here to there, so it will skip all the statement in between in these two statements, and you can jump anywhere in a main function, in any function. Okay, so here you jump from above to below, and sometime you can jump from above the go to statement. Okay, where you will put this level, and after that this statement will execute. Suppose you want to print something, that means that printf will work and it will print that value. Okay, so this is basically, guys, a functional of, okay, how basically a go to label works. Okay, go to statement works. Okay, so you can understand in this way. Suppose okay, suppose you are playing on the ground and you have an power of teleportation. If you are familiar with Hollywood movies, and also if you are a science student, then I think you have an idea of what is an teleportation. So when you are running or something like that, you just skip, and after that you can just reach anywhere, any place where you want. So same way, as that go to statement will come across with this label, and same time that you can teleport from there and you will reach where you will again meet with that label. Okay, so that is basically a go to statement. Anywhere in the function you can jump above the loop, below the loop, okay, inside the loop, where you want to put that label statement. Okay, so this also makes the program bit complex. So when you write programming easily, okay, suppose you want to write program easy way, then an easy program becomes more complex using this go-to statement. So why programmer avoid to use go-to statement also? Okay, so because why? Because it makes easy program complex to understand. Okay, so just write a simple program to understand more about go-to statement. Okay, so what we will do, we have to first open Visual Studio Code, guys. Okay, so here, so I have already I have created already a file name goto.c. If you don't know how to create a file inside a VS Code, just go there left hand side, and here you just create a new file name and name the file name any you really want. Okay, so here in this way. And now, so what you will do, as usual, we just write h include stereo.h, then int main, sorry, yeah, okay, then okay, and put a return 0. It is better to practice. Now we're gonna use a for loop. Okay, so here I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, to understand the to statement. Okay, so here we use a I variable, so just gonna write here int I is equal to 0. So why I'm gonna initialize it? Okay, it is better to practice. Okay, now other than sometime it will give you some kind of buffering problem. Okay, in C programming. So to avoid this, it is better to practice to use a variable, any variable. Before using, you just initialize it by a default value. Now here I'm going to use a for loop, and inside that for loop we will use just write a simple basic program for go to statement. So what are the keywords and identifiers in go to statement? So here we first write here any condition. Suppose we want to check the value if I equal to 3. Okay, and we want to go outside this for loop using a go to statement like a break statement, guys. Okay, so you can also go outside from the loop using a break statement. You just write here break and just print the value. You can go outside. Now we're gonna use a go to statement, and we want to go from outside from the loop. What we will do, we will just write first go to. So go to is a keyword, then after a label, that is an identifier. So I'm just going to write it lbl. Okay, an identifier. And now this will give you an like a superpower, something like that. You want to go from here to here. Okay, so you want to print the value here. You want to execute the statement, this statement after this statement. Okay, so you want to execute any statement after that. Suppose I'm going to write here label. Okay, so you're gonna print that statement here. Okay, that is the thing, guys. Use that statement. If I'm gonna write here label and any statement like printf, old printf, anything, any statement, add something, values, anything. So here you can see that this looks like a label. Okay, so this label is an identifier. Anywhere you want to go inside the function, you can go with using this go to statement. Suppose you want to go here, what will happen when you iterate the loop? This statement will check if I equal to 3. If that statement is true, then this go to statement will jump from here to here. Okay, and again this for loop will started executing. Same way, it will never stop. Why? Because I equal to 3, and then it will check go to level, and again it go here. So every time, every time, every time you will see that. So here, so here at go to, okay, so you will jump from here to here. So every time you can see that you will execute this go to statement and you will go from there to there. And now here, okay, and now here I'm not gonna write that label there. So I'm gonna just, sorry, okay, so here outside the loop, okay, it will execute only once, it will not execute infinite times. So when it will encounter that value that go to after that level, okay, then it will jump from there to there, the new value, then loop will run stop, okay, you will leave the loop. And here this statement, okay, that go to statement will jump from there to there, and this statement will start executing, okay. So and this statement will start executing, okay. This looks like a break statement, okay. So I'm just gonna run this program. So what we will do, we will just save this C program first, and here we're gonna run this. So old printf, okay, the statement was inside that, that is old printf, okay. You can also print that value like the value is of I is percent %d. So here I save this and again run this. So you can see that the value of I is 3. Why? Because this loop will iterate, stop at iterating, okay. So it will not go further. So here is the thing. Now you usually want to write a little bit complex program using a goto statement, okay. So what we will do, we will just use that statement, okay. And here I'm just gonna write that label, okay. And also you can see that it will run at infinite time, because every time this loop will execute it and this will call this statement, after that we will go from here, and after that this statement will started executing. So same way, every time I value becomes sometime 3, so this loop will never stop. Also I'm gonna save and run this C program. You can easily visualize it. This will be an infinite loop. It will print infinite time the value of I is 3, the value of I is 3, same way, okay. So here, so you can see that what we will do, we will just write control C, so then you can stop this infinite loop. Now, so we have to stop this infinite loop also. So suppose we gonna write here any variable like p, okay. So p is a variable and you wanna stop that variable, and also here we just gonna increase that value of p, and the initial value of p becomes, suppose p is equal to 2. So here what will happen, I equal to p, so initial value of p was 2, okay. I'm just gonna draw it. So initial value of p was 2 here, and after that it will go from here, okay, when loop gonna start executing. So initial value of I was 0, then 1, then 2. So when I value was 2, okay, and here this is 2, and that is this statement will true, okay, and that time it will call this statement. This statement will start at executing. So here this is go to is a keyword, then it will call for the label, and it will find where is the label inside the main function. Then you can see that this realize that this label statement is here, okay. And after that, sorry, after that this statement inside the label statement will start executing. So here I'm going to clear this, okay. So the statement, this statement will start executing. So what we will do, it will print the first value, The first value is that printf statement. It will print the value of I is %d, and after that this statement will execute. And now you can see that p plus plus, that means the value of p, the value of p, okay, so it is better to write the value of p equal to p plus 1. So you will increase the value of p by 1. Okay, you will increase the value of p by 1. Now, and here initial value of p was 2, then it will becomes 3, and again you will enter inside this loop. Okay, and this statement will again start executing. Loop will runs I equal to 1 2 3. Okay, so when it value becomes 3, the value of I becomes 3, this statement will true, and when this statement will true, it will again execute this statement, that's Goto statement, and inside that Goto statement it will again jump from here where it will find this level statement, and again this printf statement will execute, and also this p plus plus, and now the new value of p is 4. Okay, again this for loop start executing. So here you can see that inside this for loop it will again start from int I is equal to 0. From 0 it will run up to I is equal to 4. When the new value of I becomes 4, okay, then again this statement is true, guys. Okay, and after that this statement again executed. So here the value of I becomes 4, and now it will again print that statement, and after that again it will increase the value p is equal to p plus 1, and the new value of p becomes 5. But here what is the maximum value of I? Since the condition is, okay, I'm just gonna here check the condition. Since the condition is I less than 5, so I less than 5 means the value of I should be less than 5 always. Okay, it will not greater than equal to 5. So it will be 4 3 2 1 0, any value minus in negative also, but here I'm just gonna initialize from 0, so up to 0. So if value of p is 5, then this statement will not true. Why? Because every time the value of I becomes less than 5, and this statement will not execute. So why this will not call these statements, and the loop will run stop. Okay, and for better practice you can see that I'm gonna just write here a printf statement, and here after executing all the statement it will print this is end printf, end line, end statement, end line, anything you really want to. Just basic motto is you have to understand the concept. I'm just gonna save this, and also I'm just gonna clear all the pointers. Now just run this C program. Okay, sorry, first of all, yeah, now the value of I is 0, then the value of I is 3, and then the value of I is 4, and this is end line, guys. Why it is keeping the value from 0 3 4? Okay, so let's see. You wanna print that value. Okay, sorry, here the value is 5. We're gonna print the value p. Okay, so you're gonna print the value p. The statement was correct, and also output was correct. Okay, so we're gonna just print the value p to understand what is the value. Okay, so here you can see that the value of, okay, so I actually this is the value of p is 2 3 and 4. Okay, so 2 3 and 4. When the value of p here, that is actually the value of p, when the value of p is 5, then this statement will not execute it true, that is false statement. Okay, it will run only 3 times. So this is not your infinite loop like this. So this was basically your infinite loop here. Okay, so it will not like that. And now You understand, I think, Goto statement. So there are some disadvantages in Goto statement. What is that? That is okay. And so what is that advantage? Sorry, disadvantage. It makes easiest program complex. Okay, so why programmers don't use, and it is not used practically any program. So you can avoid this also, but you can write your programs to understand more about Goto statement if it will ask in your exam also. But in the case of programming, we will not use Goto statement that much. Okay, so we avoid to use a Goto statement inside our program. Now understand the topics. um, what was that? Okay, so here, what was the first one? Okay, that Floyd triangle. Okay, so now let's discuss Floyd triangle first. So here is an example of a Floyd triangle. Okay, I'm just gonna use a pointer here. Right. Sorry guys, 1 minute. Okay, now, so here, this is an example of a Floyd triangle. So what is the shape of this pattern, guys? Yeah, obviously, this is a half pyramid. Okay, this is a half pyramid. So here and here. Okay, the line is not straight, so don't worry about that. Okay, so you can write in this way. It will look good. Okay, sorry. So in this grid, you can see that this is your half pyramid, guys. Okay, okay, okay. In the next month, we will use a writing board. Okay, so that notepad, it will help you also, and it will take less time to draw these kind of things. Now it is difficult to me to draw these things with my finger. Okay, so now you can see that this is your half pyramid in a green line. Okay, so in this line, and you are already familiar with about the pattern, how you can print a pyramid pattern. If you don't know, you can watch previously. So here I'm just going to tell you. Okay, so this is an example of a Pascal triangle. Okay, this is not your slice triangle. This is your Pascal triangle example. So what is a Pascal triangle basically? So in a Pascal triangle, every value you can see that is a palindrome number. So here you can see that is 121, and this 1331, that is a palindrome number. What is that palindrome number? So if you reverse the number, and if you will get that same number, that is a palindrome number. Suppose you're gonna write 1. So all the numbers from 0 to 9 are the palindrome numbers. Why? Because all are in single digit. So number greater than 1, that is 11. 11 is a palindrome number. Is 12 is a palindrome number? So no. Why? Because when you reverse 12, it will give you 21. Okay. So 12 is not a palindrome number. Same way, we have 22, 33, 44. Okay. And all the numbers. And when you have 3 digit numbers, then 101. When you reverse 101, it will give you 101. So this is basically palindrome numbers. Here all the numbers you can see that these all are the palindrome numbers. Okay, so in Pascal triangle we want to print or this values in different row and different column. Okay, already you know how to print a pattern. So in this Pascal triangle, maybe in a full pyramid form, maybe it will in full pyramid form, maybe in a single pyramid form, the shape of pattern may be anything. Okay, so you really want to only print the value should be in a this form, like the all the numbers in a single row will looks like a palindrome number. Okay, so you have to print the value in that way. So first of all, what we will do, we will here see the basic first step is that how many rows, the total number of rows, guys, and the total number of column, total number of row and total number of column. Okay, so how many uh, rows here? You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4. So their total number of rows is 4, and total number of column is also 4. Okay, so what you will do, you will just write a for loop. Okay, so the first for loop will run from here to here. Okay, up to 4, I is equal to 1 to 4, and again that for loop, the inner for loop, guys. Why the inner for loop? Because it is a pattern of 2D pattern. Okay, so you have to use a 2 for loop as usual. Okay, and since it is a half pyramid pattern, you can see that when the value of I is increases, the value of j is also increases. Here value is I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1 means the total number of row. So j value is also 1. That is total number of column is 1 here. When I value is 2, the j value is also 2. So what you will do, just initialize that value j from 1, and here the condition, guys, this part, the condition part. So what we will write here in that condition, so we're gonna write just like I value is less than equal to, okay, sorry, that j value less than equal to I. Why? Okay, that is the condition, the base condition inside the inside inner for loop for pyramid pattern. Okay, so this basically gives you the shape of the pattern. And now you really want to print the value. What value you want to print? So in the first case, in the first row, you want to print 1. In second row, you want to print value 1, 1. And in third row, you want to print the value 1 to 1. And in fourth row, 1, 3, 3, 1. Here, you really want to print the value. Okay, so now you got the pyramid. Okay, so half pyramid. How can you print that half pyramid? And I'm just gonna highlighter. Okay, laser. So you're gonna know how can you print this pyramid. So this is a half pyramid, and here condition is j less than is equal to I, and everything is same. Now what value do you really want to print here? Okay, so that is important. So and that basically a Pascal triangle, guys. So in mathematics, you can see that what's this number, this is this number, when we will get this kind of number, just to understand first. Suppose you wanna uh, calculate the value a plus b. Okay, so the square of a plus b, that means the whole square of a plus b. So what is the whole square of a plus b? The whole square of a plus b is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, and for, okay, I'm just gonna use the VS Code here. Now delete this. So a plus b. Okay, so a plus b, the whole square of a plus b. Okay, so what is the whole square of a plus b? It is a square plus 2ab plus b square. And what is the coefficient of each number? So 1 dot a, 2 dot a, here also coefficient is 1 by default. Okay, first of all I'm going to comment this. So now you can see that a square and b square. Okay, so this is the coefficient, guys, and this coefficient is known as in mathematics as a binomial coefficient. Okay, so here I'm gonna write 1 2 1. So this is your binomial coefficient. Same way, if you're gonna write a plus b, okay, so a plus b plus c. What is the whole cube of this expression? Okay, in mathematics, so a cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. Okay, so what you will write? A cube. Okay, so I'm just gonna write a cube plus, it is very difficult to write in that way. Okay, so a cube plus 3a square b 3 square b. Okay, understand that this is a square dot, yeah, 3 square b plus 3ab square 3 dot a dot b square and plus obviously b cube. So here, so you can see that this is the value of this expression. And what is the coefficient? 1 into dot a, and here the coefficient 1 into dot b. So here you can see that 1 3 3 1. So these coefficients are basically known as binomial coefficient, guys. Okay, so this is the basic expression for binomial coefficient. So what we will do, we will first calculate the binomial coefficient, and after that we will use that binomial coefficient and print that value. Okay, so we're gonna print this number like 121 131 using the formula of binomial coefficient, guys. Okay, so you can see, so we have different kind of formulas to calculate binomial coefficient in mathematics. We will use that formula. Okay, so you are familiar with NCR. Okay, so what is NCR? NCR basically gives you n factorial. Okay, hope you understand what is meaning of n factorial. Okay, so I'm just gonna write here in this way, that is you can understand. And it divided by k factorial, sorry, r factorial, that is the value, and multiply with n minus of r factorial. Okay, so just use that sign uh, as a division. Okay, so n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r. Okay, so that is basically the formula to calculate binomial coefficient, guys. Okay, so where n is always greater than or equal to r. And how can you calculate this? Suppose you have a number. Okay, suppose you have 7, so fact 5. Okay, so 5 cr 5 c2. Okay, so how can you calculate this? That is basically factorial of 5. Factorial of 5 means you multiply 5 with 4 3 2 1 up to 1, so it will give you 5 4 3 2 1, that is 120. Okay, and divided by r factorial, that is factorial of 2, that is 2. Okay, so 2 multiply with n minus of r factorial, that is 6. Why? Because n minus 2, that is 3, and 3 multiplied by 2 it gives you 6. So again it is give you value 10. Okay, so that is the value 10. So that is basically a binomial coefficient. And now how can you use these things inside your program? That is also important, guys. So here you can see that the first value, Okay, the first value is when a plus b. When a plus b, then it is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so here, and how it is related with every each single line. Okay, so here we have 1 5, sorry, it is 1 4 6 4 and 1. Again it is 1 5 10 10 5 1. Okay, and this is 1. So here you can see that in an H every line how this is related with this statement. So here the value of ith entry means in every each single row the line number, okay, the line number is calculated as NC, that is line of LCI. Okay, so here you can write as, I will explain it, LC. Okay, L suppose is this line, that is CI, line CI. Okay, so just I'm gonna write it here like NCR. Same way we have line CI. Okay, so line CI. So here C is like for binomial coefficient, I is the ith entry, guys, like R, and here line is like N. Okay, so we're gonna put that thing on that formula. Suppose we're gonna check any value, ith value, and here suppose the value of I is 1. Okay, suppose the value of I is 1. Okay, so here that is line, suppose line is, suppose first line, second line. Okay, so here first line is 1, second line, third line, so that is basically line, and the ith value. Okay, so suppose 0th value, 1 value. So I'm gonna write here again a pattern. Okay, so there you can understand. Here line number is 1, first line number, and the value of 1 is, okay, so 1c, ith value यानी कि 0th value, the value of j, actually the column value ic0. Okay, you can here write the uh, line number and here column value, column value. Okay, so NCR, that is capital C. So here line number and C, that is R equals column value, that is 1C0, and it is 2C0, then 2C1, then 2C2. Sorry. Okay, yes. And again it is 3C0 and 3C1, 3C2, 3C3. Same we have 4C0, 4C1, 4C2, 4C3, and 4C4. Same we have 5C0, 5C1, 5C2, 5C3, 5C4, and 5C5. And here it will be 4C4. Okay, so in every pattern we have to print the value of 1C0, 2C0, 2C1, 2C2, 2C3 in this way, guys. Okay, so that's why we have to print all the binomial coefficient of different kind of value. So here you can see that that is 1 is here, the what is the line number? Line number is 1. Okay, so line number is 1 here. Line is equal to first line. So why we write here 1, and after that the column value. Okay, so lineage number. Okay, the first line value, and after that the column value. So you can say that the column will also start with 1. Okay, so I'm going to just here write the columnist value. Connect that means, okay, sorry, that means the value which basically we start from 0, index value generally. Okay, so that is the 0th value, the NC 0. Okay, you can say here like uh, jth value, jth value. Okay, so jth value, and line basically count from 1 and jth value. So here first jth value is 0, and line number is first line, in first line, not the ith value, in the first line, and the first value is j value is 0, so 1c0. So here what is this? This is second line, line number 2. Okay, so here line number is 2, and okay, so here line number 2, and here line number is 3. Okay, so for in line number 2 you can see that j value becomes 0, then 1, then 2. So 2c0, 2c1, 2c2. Same way in line number 3, 3c0, 3c1, 3c2, 3c3, 4c0, 4c1, 4c2, 4c3, 4c4. So we're gonna print this value, that is that NCR value. Okay guys, and now how can we calculate first this number? Okay, and after that we can just write the program inside that for loop, pattern for loop. Okay, so what we will do for that? So here first just gonna write a program for to print this binomial coefficient, guys. Okay, so what we will do, I'm gonna first comment all the statement here. Okay, so here all the statement, previous statement, comment. Okay, now I'm just gonna write a program for binomial coefficient. H include h2.h. Okay, so I think video becomes large. Okay, so don't worry about that, but you will learn the concept. Okay, so and return 0. Now understand the logic. So how can you write this program? So you have to calculate this value NCR. Okay, so NCR is equal to factorial of n and r factorial and n minus r. So suppose you have two values n and r. So I'm just gonna make a variable n is equal to 4 and k is equal to 2. Okay, so here, so okay, so before writing program, first simplify this formula. Okay, so now it's difficult to you to understand directly when I write the program, and also it is difficult to write the program complex, so make it easy. So first of all, okay, 1 minute guys. First of all, here just make the formula becomes easier. Okay, to simplify. So what we will do here is the formula is like NCR equal to n factorial and r minus of r. Okay, I'm going to just write in one line, that is r factorial and n minus of r factorial. R is small. Okay, so this is the formula. So how can we simplify it? So here, what is the meaning of factorial? That is meaning of n multiply with n minus of 1. Okay, and it multiply with n minus of 2. It will multiply with n minus of 3, guys. And same way, it will multiply up to 1. Okay, when you calculate factorial of 5, that is 5 multiply with 4 multiply with 3 multiply with 2 and 1. Same way, and after that what we will do, we will just divide that value. Okay, so with what value? So this should be in bracket, that is n factorial. Okay, so n minus of r, the first value is r factorial. So r factorial means you just multiply, okay, r with r minus of 1, r minus of 2, r minus of 3. I think a video becomes large. Okay, so don't worry about the length of the video, just understand and learn. Okay, already 51 minutes across. So r minus 3 and so on up to, sorry, up to 1. So this is the first r factorial, and after that what we will do, we will just calculate n minus of r factorial. That is basically the n number, n minus of r, and it is multiply with, okay guys, so it multiply with in this way, n minus of r minus of 1. Okay, and same way, dot dot dot, multiply with the last value, that is basically factorial. Okay, and now after simplification, when we're gonna simplify it, okay, so after simplification you can calculate the whole value in this way, n multiply with n minus of 1, n minus of 1, and it multiply with the last value, that is n minus of k plus of 1. Okay, and after that is just divide that value from, okay, uh, sorry, r, the value that is n minus 1 up to n minus r plus 1. Okay, and that's the value of r. So r multiply with r minus of 1, okay, it multiply with up to 1. So here this is after simplification. So we're gonna use this formula in our for loop, n into n minus 1 up to n minus of r plus of 1 divide by r into r minus 1 multiply with 1. Okay, and also another formula is that when you print that value, that ncr is equal to ncr is equal to n c of n minus of r. So okay, so that formula basically we use, and here r can be changed, and it is always greater than n minus of r. So this is the formula guys. Okay, so in this way you can calculate this, and now through a program we're gonna make this. How can we write this program? So first of all we're gonna run a for loop from 0 to r minus of 1. Okay, so first of all, suppose r value is greater, okay, that k value, suppose this is suppose, okay, ncr, okay, so just write a variable k. Suppose this r value is greater, then you can convert it at n minus of r. Okay, convert it as n minus of r, and run a for loop from 0 to r minus of 1, and for every iteration we update n into n minus of 1 divided by I plus 1. So we can get this, so just write it. Okay, so what we will do, start running a for loop. First we check if the r value is greater than n minus of r. Okay, then the new value of r becomes n minus of r. Okay, so if the value of r becomes, and since we have to calculate ncr. Okay, so what we will do, we have the value of r should be lesser than n minus 1. So we just calculate it in this way. And now we're going to use a for loop, and we iterate it int I is equal to 0, I less than r, and I plus plus. Okay, and we're going to calculate it the value of n minus of a. So here you can see that n is multiplied with n minus of 1, n minus of r plus 1. Okay, so every time you multiply the value of n with n minus of I. Okay, you multiply n with n minus of I, n minus of I, n minus of r plus 1. So initial value of okay, so you just gonna here you just multiply that value n minus of I with previous value. Okay, so with previous value, and suppose here I'm just gonna write a variable, another variable, suppose int r already taken, so int store st, and here just write the value int st is equal to 1, and we just store that value inside that variable. Okay, so st is equal to st with 1. First it multiply with 1, and it will give you 1 into n minus of I, and after that n minus of I is multiply with again the next value n minus of 2, same way n minus of 3, and so on. Okay, so in this way. And now here what we will do after that, after multiplication we gonna divide that value, that st value is equal to st by which value, so I plus of 1, I plus of 1. Okay, so what is the I value? Actually that value of r, that is 1 2 3. Okay, so 1 2 3 up to r, that is r minus 1, that is basically up to r. Okay, and after that that value will give you printf the binomial coefficient. Okay, that is st. So if you don't understand this program, so don't worry. Okay, I will explain it again if you have any doubts. So the value of r should be greater than n minus 1. Okay, if it is greater, then we just convert the value of r become n minus of r. Why? Because here you can see that ncr, that means 2c 0, and also when you calculate, because n minus of r, when you put this formula here inside this formula, so here nc n minus r means nc n minus r means the value of r becomes n minus r. So here you will put n minus r, and here n minus of r, then the minus minus becomes plus, so r will cancel, so it sorry, then n will cancel, so it will again becomes r factorial and n minus of r factorial. So this formula will work. Okay, and if r value is greater than n minus r, so we just convert that value with n minus of r. So here I will check that condition, and now we multiply n minus of 0, that is with n minus of 1, n minus of 2, up to what, up to r minus of 1. So here the I value becomes r minus 1. So if you put the value here in the last, the value of I becomes r minus 1. So what will it will give you n minus of r minus of 1. So it will give you the value n minus r plus of 1. Okay, so that is your last value. So here you can see that this is n minus r plus 1. Okay, and here what you will do, you just write I plus of 1. So initial value of I was 0, so it will increase at up to r. Okay, so if up to r minus 1, so last value is r minus of 1, so it will becomes r. Why? Because r minus 1 plus of 1. Okay, and since here in this formula, what you will do, you just calculate in this way. You just calculate the value n, and you just divide it by r. Okay, so in this way you just you gonna calculate it. You gonna calculate in this way, and divide by 1, and after that you calculate n minus 1. Okay, and again you just divide that number, and and divide by 2, and you multiply this number. So you are calculating in this way. So here, first we multiply, we calculate the first part, that is this. Okay, so that is this, and again we calculate using this formula, is this. Okay, and after that, where I was, okay, I think here. So and n minus 1 divided by 2, and after that we calculate it. So here you can calculate the binomial coefficient, guys, and each binomial coefficient is printed as it inside the Pascal triangle. So Pascal triangle is not that much difficult. Here the main thing is that you have an idea of a binomial coefficient. Okay, so this is basically a binomial coefficient, and just gonna save this and run this C program because it is important to you. So what is the value we are going to calculate here? We're going to calculate here 4C2. 4C2. Just calculate in your copy what is the value of 4C2, then again check it. So it gives you 6. Okay, hope you understand why it is give you 6, because 4 factorial 4, that is 4 is multiplied with 3, 2, 1. So it is 4, 30, 3, 12, and then 24, and it divide by 2. Okay, so it gives you, and then 4 minus of 2, that is 2, 2. Okay, that is 4, and here that is 24. So 24 divided by 4, then it will give you 6. So 4C2 factorial is 6. Sorry, binomial coefficient is 6, guys. Now we gonna use this program to print our pattern. Okay, so there is the value. So here the fixed value is fixed. Now we gonna just go there. So what we will do, we will print each value 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1 in pattern. So we use this for loop again. So we have to use 3 for loop inside this. So suppose uh, you want to print a pattern. Okay, so that is the thing. Now using this binomial coefficient, we're gonna print our pyramid pattern, guys. Okay, so what we will do, so this is actually that value. We want to print this st value inside that for loop. Okay, so the format, what is the format of a pyramid pattern? Suppose we just take any value, int op is equal to 0. Okay, and we ask to user printf enter any positive number. Okay, and take input from the user as scanf %d and %op. Okay, so here we just gonna use int I is equal to 0, I less than op, I plus plus. Okay, or maybe you can use any other variable, that doesn't matter. Okay, and after that we're gonna use another for loop, int j is equal to 0 and j is less than is equal to I and j plus plus. Okay, so we gonna print the value, and here this is the given part we're gonna print inside that pattern. So this is basically a format of pyramid pattern, half pyramid pattern. Okay, so what we will do, we will just paste here that coefficient value. Okay, and here you can see that int, and again this is an inner for loop. Okay, so here, so don't be confused with this I value. Okay, and this I value inside this for loop, since okay, Okay, and now the new value of, okay, so what is the value of 4? Since we're gonna use this input from the user, okay, so we have to just write here. I'm just gonna write in this way, int r, and that value is basically the line number, the ith value, the total number of row. Okay, so and this r value is basically the the jth value. Okay, and I'm just going to change here this variable, right, because you will not confuse. Okay, so just like z less than r and z plus plus, sorry, okay, and that I become z. Okay, and here intensity is equal to 1. So this is your value, and after that we're going to print that value. Okay, so here, just here, and now so print of x. So here you can see that this for loop, that first for loop basically tells you about total number of row. Okay, and second for loop basically tells about total number of column, and the condition here j less than equal to I. This condition basically control the for pattern of the loop. Okay, so here j is equal less than equal to I. That means it is a half pyramid pattern. And so in the half pyramid pattern, which value we want to print? If suppose we want to print here a star, then it will print as a star, star, star as a pyramid pattern. But we want to print that value here, that binomial coefficient value here inside this loop. Okay, so that is the thing. So what we will do, we will just save this C program and run this. So it will ask int any positive number like 4. So here you can see that this is your Pascal triangle. Okay, but here you can see also you have used 3 for loop. First for number of row, second for number of column, and third for to calculate binomial coefficient. So in programming, we have to write an efficient program. Okay, so which take less time, less space. So here you can see that you have used 3 for loop. That is not very good to practice. So if you really want to write a program, so you don't need to you have to just avoid using 3 for loop, 4 for loop. Okay, so that is basically not a good practice. And also try to solve the problem in 1 for loop, and other than if that problem is not with that 1 for loop, then go with 2 for loop, guys. Okay, so we will discuss about in data structure chapter why we have to use 2 for loop for better programming. No, why not 3 for loop? Okay, so again run this C program. Suppose you want to ask any value like 5. So you can see the Pascal triangle here. Okay, suppose 10. So here is the given Pascal triangle. Now, so here we're gonna use same concept. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom out. Then you can see the program. So pause the video and make sure that first try to solve this problem by your own, and after that you can check it with this program. Okay, here, and you can note it, and also you can take a screenshot. And here was the theory part of binomial coefficient. Okay, and there was a sorry, so you can also take a screenshot of this part, and this part is also important, that is the line CJS value and this value. Okay, so here there was some mistake and to understand this coefficient. Okay, the pattern, the Pascal triangle, the code was right, but here it should be written in that way, 1 and 1. Okay, that is the correct format, that was missing. And so I here also it be like 0 0 and after that 0 C 0, and that is again the new value of column, sorry, that is 1 C 0, and here it is 1 C 1. Okay, that is the thing, not change at all. Okay, now it looks good, and this is the right way to write this pattern. Okay, so now it is correct, and overall all the program is right, so don't worry about that, but it was missing there. Okay, so hope you understand. Okay, again thank you. So for that we're gonna just comment this part. Okay, and here, and just remove it from there. Okay, not that part, up to there. And here I'm gonna put this there. Now we're gonna print that value, that the Pascal triangle, using only to for loop. Okay, that is the case. So how can we print that? So here we're gonna just update it as 1. Why, I will tell you, because you can't divide any number by 0. So here I have to divide the number by 0. So what we will do, we will just write printf function, okay, that number printf %d, and here is space, and the value is st. Okay, that previous value. Okay, so here, so what is the place, so where we have to declare that variable st. So every time we need that st value, so here we're gonna write st is equal to 1. Okay, so that will update every time the st value becomes 1. And now after that we gonna write here ct. Okay, that st value is equal to st multiply with value, that is the number of row with columns, and that is divided by the number of column, and after that we're going to print that value. Okay, so it was already printed, so that is the method. Okay, so in this way you can directly calculate the every and each value which is used here. So just understand the relation between the numbers. So here the first number is 1, so I'm just gonna print st is equal to 1, and after that number should be update. So what is the next value of that number? That is basically that previous number, that, and that is multiply with sti minus of j. So here suppose the value of I becomes 2, 2 minus of 1, so 2 minus of 1 multiply with what, that is divided by 1, that is okay, that is 1, and it is multiplied with suppose 2, so that the overall value becomes 2. So you can get in that way. So again gonna save this and run this program. So here I am missing some. Okay, so what we will do, it gives you some compilation error. Okay, okay. So here, okay, sorry, just write okay, save this C program and run this. Enter any positive number like 4. Again you can write 8. So you can get that value. So this is an efficient solution of this program. So you can use both methods to print Pascal triangle. So here you have to just understand how can you develop this logic, and other than you can solve this problem using this binomial coefficient, guys. Now another pattern. Okay, so I'm just gonna open another pattern. So we're gonna print Floyd's triangle, guys. So here you can see that in a Floyd triangle, it is also in a shape of half pyramid, guys. Okay, so it is also in half pyramid. Sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna clear it. Like looks good. So this is also a half pyramid. Okay, you can see there. So the logic of two for loop is same. That is the first for loop will run in that way. Okay, and also another for loop, that is the total number of column will give you column. But the condition is that the inner for loop, suppose it is j, then j less than equal to I, and that is basically an important condition. I is the number of row, and inside that, so here is the inside that you're gonna print any value you really want. So that is the basic structure. So what is the new thing here? The pattern is same, but the value is different. Also you can see that the value is increasing from here to here when you goes from here to here. So in this way, like you are reading a book, and every time a book okay, so every time number is increasing line by line, so in this order. Okay, so what we will do, and that is also a value inside the number of j value. Okay, so for the first column the value is 1 in the first row, then again when you enter in a second row that value is 2, then 3. So that means how many times how many times this inner for loop will run, that is important. So here inner for loop will run first time, and here second time. Okay, so if you count from here, that is then third time, fourth time, fifth and sixth and so on. Okay, so what we will do, we will just print and count total number of for loop. Okay guys, I'm just gonna open VS Code and print this. Okay, so here, so everything is remains same. Okay, so if you really want to print flight triangle, so now it's a program for flight triangle. What we will do, so here condition is also same, but we're gonna print some value here, that is st, and that st becomes increases every time, st plus plus. When the value of st was initially 1, so it is printed as it. Okay, st is equal to 1. Okay, so you will print that value, and it will increasing how many times this j loop will runs, and that is the program of flight triangle. It is very simple and easy, like 4. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 9 10. Okay, so any other number like 10. So this is a simple program for flight triangle. So all those problems are very important, guys. And also thanks for watching, and please do subscribe the channel. For the some reason, okay, so I couldn't make videos on time, but now from onwards I will update all the lectures as soon as possible. And thanks for watching, and if you like the video on C programming, then please do subscribe the channel and share it with your friends. And Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. Thank you.